For the second time in 2 years, 1 point would decide the Irons' playoff fate in the round of 16. With just over a minute and a half to play in the fourth quarter, Bradley-Bourbonnais' Ellis Johnson sent a 36-yard field goal through the uprights to knot the score at 24-all. Unable to get an offensive drive going, it looked like the Iron would take their chances in overtime, punting to Bradley with just seconds to play in regulation. The Boilermakers' Lucas Morrical took the punt 61 yards to the end zone in what looked like a game-winning return. An illegal block would nullify the score and send the game to overtime. The Boilermakers limited Tommy Davis's production in regulation, holding Davis to 30 yards and 19 carries, with Coach Drangwood saying,
"I think their defensive line was the best D-line that we'd seen all year."
Despite the Boilermakers' power up front, the senior running back found the end zone in overtime to give the Iron a 30-24 advantage. Sophomore Will Castro connected on the extra point to put the Iron up by 7. Bradley's tailback, Cavante Sutton, would pound the ball in from 2 yards out to put the Boilermakers within 1. Bradley head coach Mike Cole opted to go for the win and go for 2. Ethan Cole's pass to Luke Allen fell incomplete after the receiver was unable to hold on to the ball. Community took the lead in the first quarter, scoring on a fake punt, with Kyle Beatty connecting with Dexter Niekamp. On the play call, Drangwood said,
"Yeah, so I would love to take credit for it as a special teams coordinator, but Coach Messina, our offensive coordinator, on Monday or Tuesday said, hey, look at their punt. I think we could slip our left tackle out." Mm-hmm. But still, when you call a fake punt in that moment, you're like, I hope it works. And as soon as the ball was snapped and I watched how it went down, Kyle executed well, our front line executed, and Dexter did as well. And you see what type of football player Dexter is with the football in his hands.
Bradley answered right back, with senior quarterback Ethan Cole connecting with Allen for a 59-yard score.
So Ethan Cole is an outstanding quarterback, really good player. I mean, he's a really good thrower. 2 of his touchdown passes, were just great throws into tight windows.
Community had some scoring opportunities late in the first quarter, but penalties would keep them out of the end zone.
I didn't like all the penalties, like we've talked about many times here, both ways. I thought it was a very chippy game. I didn't think it was a dirty game at all. I just thought a lot of talking, which resulted in penalties.
Will Castro put the Iron up 10-7 with a 33-yard field goal at the start of the second quarter. A Marquand Gary catch and run would set up the Iron's second touchdown of the game. Feeling pressure, Beatty would scramble and find the end zone from 9 yards out. The Iron's 17-7 lead wouldn't last long. Cole found Allen for the second time from 19 yards out, pulling the Boilermakers within 3. Beatty responded with a touchdown toss of his own, hitting Gary in stride for a 21-yard reception. Gary would finish the night with 115 yards on 8 catches. Community took a 24-14 lead into the half, but would not find the end zone again until overtime. The second half would see the Iron struggle to score despite several trips to the red zone. In the third quarter, Beatty was picked off, stopping the Iron's offensive momentum.
Their corner made a great play to catch it and stay in bounds, but we poorly executed the route, which threw the timing off, which put him not in the right spot, and then we didn't execute the throw.
The Boilermakers capitalized on the turnover when Cole found Allen for the senior's third touchdown reception, putting Bradley within 3, leading to the eventual tie. The Ironmen would fail to capitalize on one more trip to the red zone, turning the ball over on the goal line.
Kyle makes a great read, just trying to make a play to get in the end zone, and dives, and the ball gets knocked out of his hands, and that was a big deal.
The Iron defense had an opportunity to win the game in regulation, but Allen shed 2 would-be tacklers to avoid a safety.
Then backed up, and we almost had him for a safety, and then we let him out on a 3rd and long on a screen.
The Boilers marched downfield and kicked a field goal, extending their season just one more offensive series. The Ironmen, victorious 31-30, head to Lombard to take on the Glenbard East Rams Saturday at 2 p.m. in the IHSA quarterfinals.